I'm Dave Kluge, author of The People's Guide to the United States Constitution. Thomas Jefferson gave us a solution to abuses of constitutional power. He said, "I know of no safe depository of the ultimate powers of the society, but the people themselves, and if we think them not enlightened enough to exercise their control with a wholesome discretion, the remedy is not to take it from them, but to inform their discretion by education. This is the true corrective of abuses of constitutional power." The news is filled today with arguments over the Constitution and alleged abuses of constitutional power. Yet surveys show the majority of Americans have not read and understood our Constitution, the supreme law of our land, even though it's only about 7,000 words or 25 pages long. In researching my book, I went out on the streets and asked all sorts of people, what would it be like to live in a country where everyone you met had read and understood our Constitution? People of all ages and groups said there would be more respect and cooperation. The government would not violate people's rights, and the people could work together to make that country better. I'd like that. The Constitution and the human rights it protects provide a common ground we can all share. The power to preserve and protect our freedoms begins when we, the people, become familiar with our own Constitution. In 1787, when the Constitution was being debated by the states before it was approved, newspapers at the time printed the entire text of the Constitution with arguments for it and against it. People read it, discussed it, and had strong opinions about it. I'd like to see that level of understanding of our Constitution approached, again, today. So how can it be that so few people have read and understood our Constitution today? Well, the Constitution was written in what is now more than a 2-century-old language with lots of unusual words. Many people simply can't get through it today. The solution is simple the way I have structured and written my book. All unusual words are defined with lots of simple examples of what is being talked about. People can read straight on through with understanding. I give just enough background so people know who it was that came to America to settle hundreds of years ago, what they believed in, and what was the War of Independence all about. So people can read with understanding our Declaration of Independence, which in my mind is one of the most beautiful and aesthetic documents ever written. Then why did we have a constitutional convention, what happened at it, and then the text of the Constitution? People can read my book in just a few hours and walk away with their own understanding of what these documents say, as I let the Declaration of Independence and Constitution speak for themselves, all with no spin. I'm on a personal mission to help get the majority of Americans just to simply read and understand our Constitution. If generations of Americans were well versed in our Constitution from when we started on and continued on our path to becoming the greatest country on earth, then it certainly makes sense that today's generation should be well versed in the Constitution as well. I urge you to encourage people to simply read and understand the Constitution for themselves. And with that education, we, the people, will know how to correct abuses of constitutional power. Thank you.